Let's dive into La Niña, a powerful climate pattern that's about to shape our weather for months and maybe even change the way you think about the seasons ahead. Whether you're a weather enthusiast or just someone who wants to know if you'll need an extra sweater this winter, understanding La Niña is key. You've probably heard the name tossed around on the news or seen it in headlines, but what is it really? Why does it matter so much, and how can something happening in the Pacific Ocean affect people thousands of miles away? Picture the Pacific Ocean as a giant bathtub, one so big it covers nearly a third of the planet. The water in this massive tub is always moving, swirling and shifting, driven by winds and the sun's heat. Usually, the water moves in a regular way, with warm water flowing west and cooler water rising in the east. But sometimes, things get out of balance. The usual flow is disrupted, and that's when the real drama begins. La Niña, which means the little girl in Spanish, is when unusually cold water pools in the eastern Pacific along the equator. This isn't just a small patch of chilly water, it's a vast stretch, thousands of miles long, that cools down more than normal. This isn't a minor shift, it's a massive area cooling by a few degrees, which is a big deal in weather terms. Even a change of just 1 or 2 degrees can set off a chain reaction in the atmosphere, altering weather patterns around the world. That cooler water changes the air above it, disrupting the atmosphere and sending ripples across the globe. Winds shift, clouds form in new places, and storms can pop up where you least expect them. It shifts the jet stream, a storm superhighway in the sky, making some places wetter, others drier, some colder, and some warmer. The jet stream acts like a conveyor belt for storms, and when it moves, so does the weather you experience. As of late October 2025, experts have declared La Niña is officially here. Meteorologists around the world are watching closely, because this event can mean big changes for millions of people. The ocean is cooled, the atmosphere has shifted, and we're in a full-blown La Niña event expected to last through winter. This means the stage is set for a season of surprises, from unexpected snowstorms to dry spells in places that usually get rain. Even a weak La Niña can have big impacts, from your heating bill to your holiday travel plans. Flights can be delayed by storms, and energy costs can spike as temperatures swing. Why does this matter? Because La Niña is global. Its influence stretches far beyond the Pacific, touching nearly every continent in some way. From the Americas to Asia, Africa to Australia, no one is completely untouched. It can mean the difference between a white Christmas and a brown one, or a season of drought versus floods. Farmers, city planners, and families all feel the effects, whether it's too much rain, not enough, or wild temperature swings. Understanding what La Niña brings to your region is the first step in being prepared. Knowing what to expect can help you plan, stay safe, and even save money. Over the next few minutes, we'll break down what you can expect, region by region, and season by season. We'll show you how La Niña could affect your daily life, from the clothes you wear to the way you travel. Whether you're in Des Moines, Denver, or Delhi, La Niña's reach is real. No matter where you live, its effects can show up in surprising ways. So, let's get ready for what's coming. By understanding La Niña, you'll be one step ahead, ready to face whatever the season brings, and maybe even impress your friends with your weather smarts. La Niña splits the U.S. in two, setting the stage for a dramatic weather showdown that stretches from coast to coast. Every few years, this powerful climate pattern emerges in the Pacific Ocean, but its effects ripple far beyond the water, shaping the lives of millions of Americans. It creates a classic north-south weather divide, almost as if the country is living through two completely different seasons at the same time. The jet stream, which acts like a river of air high above us, shifts northward. This shift pulls cold, moist air into the northern states, bringing with it a parade of storms, snow, and chilly winds. Meanwhile, the southern half of the country basks in warmth and dryness, often feeling more like spring than winter. Imagine the jet stream as a garden hose. During La Niña, it's pointed at the north, soaking them with snow and cold. The northern states get drenched with wintry weather, while the south barely gets a sprinkle. The south, meanwhile, is left high and dry, with little relief from the sun and a growing thirst for rain. For the north, think Pacific Northwest, Northern Plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes, it's a return to old-fashioned winter. Expect more snow piling up on sidewalks, colder temperatures that linger, and a steady stream of storms rolling in from the west. If you're in Chicago, Minneapolis, or Seattle, get your snow gear ready. Skiers and snowboarders, rejoice. This is your season to hit the slopes, build snowmen, and enjoy the winter wonderland. In the south, from California to Florida, expect warmer, drier conditions and more sunny days. It's perfect weather for outdoor activities, but it comes with a catch. Less rain means higher drought and wildfire risks. Farmers worry about their crops, and communities keep a close eye on fire danger as the land dries out. La Niña's north-south split is one of the most reliable patterns in long-range forecasting. Meteorologists watch for it every year, knowing it can shape everything from travel plans to water supplies. Two very different winters, one country. Whether you're bundling up or breaking out the sunscreen, La Niña makes sure no two winters are ever quite the same in America. Let's zoom in on the north, where winter is gearing up for a dramatic return. This year, the stage is set for a season that could bring some of the most dynamic weather we've seen in recent years. From Washington to the Great Lakes and Northeast, La Niña is in play. And that means colder than average temperatures are likely to grip these regions. Residents should prepare for a winter that feels longer and more intense than usual, with more frequent cold snaps and icy mornings. The polar jet stream, acting like a conveyor belt of cold, dips farther south than normal. This shift brings persistent waves of Arctic air, making it tough for any warm spells to last. Expect a pattern of repeated cold fronts sweeping through, keeping temperatures low. With this setup, more snow is on the way. An active storm track energized by cold air and moisture from the Great Lakes means frequent snowfalls and the potential for some major winter storms. Cities like Buffalo and Grand Rapids are especially vulnerable to big lake-effect snow events. These areas could see several feet of snow piling up in just a few days, making travel and daily life challenging. The Pacific Northwest will also benefit with a boost in mountain snowpack. This is great news for water supplies and for skiers eager for fresh powder on the slopes. Expect ski resorts to open early and stay busy all season. Meanwhile, the northern plains and upper Midwest are in for long, tough winters. Biting winds and frequent snow squalls will make for hazardous driving and challenging conditions for anyone venturing outdoors. Even the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic could see significant snow, especially inland. Towns away from the coast may experience several major snowstorms, with accumulations that could rival some of the snowiest winters on record. Not every spot will be brutal though. Coastal cities like D.C. and New York may see more rain than snow, with slushy streets and chilly, damp days replacing the deep freezes found farther inland. Weak La Niña winters aren't always huge snow producers for everyone, but the general theme is clear: cold and snowy up north, with plenty of opportunities for winter fun and challenges. The exact details will depend on each storm's track, but one thing's for sure: this winter is shaping up to be one to remember, so get ready and stay prepared. Now, let's head south, where La Niña brings a different story. From Southern California to Florida, expect a warmer, drier winter. High-pressure block storms, keeping rain and snow away. More sun and milder temps sound nice, but the lack of precipitation is a big problem. Drought intensifies, especially in the already dry Southwest and Texas. Less rain means shrinking reservoirs and less snowmelt for rivers. Agriculture suffers, and wildfire risk rises as vegetation dries out. This southern dryness is a consistent La Niña effect. While a stray storm might bring brief relief, the overall trend is below average rainfall. Water managers and farmers are already preparing for a long, dry spell. La Niña can extend hurricane season's danger. Normally, by late October, we're winding down, but La Niña weakens wind shear over the Atlantic. Less wind shear means storms can form and strengthen more easily, even late in the season. Warm waters in October and November fuel these storms. November can see double the usual number of storms in a La Niña year. Even if the season's been quiet, one late hurricane can cause major damage. The Gulf Coast and Florida remain at risk right through November. It's a reminder that distant Pacific changes can trigger Atlantic hurricanes. Stay vigilant and keep hurricane plans ready until the season officially ends. La Niña keeps the door open for late-season trouble. Let's talk about the Polar Vortex, a huge mass of cold air over the poles. Sometimes it gets disrupted and sends frigid air south, causing extreme cold snaps. Weak La Niña winters increase the odds of these disruptions. The atmospheric patterns can knock the vortex off balance, unleashing Arctic air. These events are hard to predict far in advance, but they can flip a mild winter into a deep freeze. The eastern US is especially vulnerable. Even if your forecast is mild, be ready for sudden, severe cold. We'll be watching for any signs of a wobbly vortex. La Niña's impact is global. In Australia and Indonesia, it means wetter weather and a higher risk of flooding. Too much rain can cause landslides and crop damage, even as it ends droughts. In South America, coastal Peru and Ecuador get drier, hurting fisheries, while Brazil and Colombia may see more rain. South Africa often gets wetter too. La Niña's fingerprints are everywhere, showing how connected our climate is. A shift in Pacific water temperature can trigger floods or droughts half a world away. Understanding La Niña helps us see the global weather puzzle. In South Asia, La Niña's effects are less predictable. It can bring drier, cooler winters to parts of India and Pakistan by weakening the winter monsoon. But other climate patterns, like the Indian Ocean dipole, can counteract or amplify La Niña's influence. The Himalayas also play a huge role, making local forecasts tricky. A small shift in the jet stream can mean the difference between drought and needed snowfall. That's why local meteorologists are the best source for winter predictions here. La Niña is just one piece of a complex regional puzzle. Here's the key takeaway. Always check your local forecast. Seasonal outlooks give you the big picture, but local forecasts guide your daily decisions. La Niña sets the stage, but smaller patterns can bring surprises, like a cold snap in the south or a warm spell in the north. Weather is about probabilities, not guarantees. Forecasts are updated constantly as new data comes in. Use La Niña info to prepare. Winter gear in the north, water conservation in the south. But for day-to-day plans, trust your local meteorologists. They track the radar, watch the storms, and keep you safe. Check your forecast every day. That's the bottom line.